Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to our channel, and thanks for logging on. Today we're discussing the Panerai Radiomir 10 Days GMT Automatic Oro Bianco PAM 496. You can see this automatic winding 10-day power reserve dual-time white gold Panerai and purchase it on our website. Subscribe to our YouTube channel if you enjoy these videos, and please click on the card in the upper right-hand corner of the screen at any time during this video to see our full sales listing for this watch, with additional accessories included in the sale, high-resolution images for your desktop that don't involve my wrist, and of course complete pricing information for this Panerai PAM 496. Now on my wrist, 6 1/3 inches, 16 centimeters in circumference, you can see that this 2012 special series of 250 pieces is built on a classical Panerai Radiomir 45mm case. That's 45 from 9 to 3, not inclusive of the classically styled crown, and it's 16.5 millimeters thick, albeit with a generously sloped bezel and case flank that tend to slide underneath the tighter cuff easier than most of this thickness. Now from lug to lug, 51 millimeters, that's actually an outstanding and quite compact dimension for a watch that's 45 millimeters across. This watch can be worn on a broad variety of wrists, down to, in my estimation, 14 to 14.5 centimeters in circumference, provided you have that roughly flat plane across the top of your wrist. If you have an oval-shaped wrist, you're good to go even at 14 centimeters. Wear this watch with security and style. Of course, the white gold, and there is a great deal of it, means the watch has an impressive mass on the wrist. Close your eyes, you still know it's special. And like its PAM 495 counterpart, the sheer dimensions of the case in combination with precious metal leave you constantly aware that there's something truly special on your wrist. Likewise, the high-grade Alligator leather strap, here with small scale, black, matte finish, folded edges, and a monotone stitch paired with a high-grade filigree style that is wire style, twin trigger, double deployant clasp. You can see white gold to match the case. It's beautifully finished throughout. It's exactly what you would expect as a companion to a watch of this caliber, and with the double swing arms, it doesn't have the one big up and over fold of a single fold deployant that can pinch a smaller wrist. So even on this count, the watch is well matched to a smaller wrist. Of course, the wire lugs in modern Radiomir style can be detached by loosening the screws at both sides, flanking the lugs, so you can swap straps at home. That's half the fun of owning a modern Panerai timepiece. Now, this watch is of course the running mate to the other 2012 special edition, the 495 in platinum. So what is the difference between them? Well, dimensionally they're the same, mechanically they're the same, the dial layout's even the same. The primary difference is that the Oro Bianco, the white gold, has a dial that is black and matte black rather than the vaguely tobacco-tinged dial of the 495. This dial features all white metal in its appliques and a traditional pale green luminova rather than the ecru simulated patina of the 495. The 495 featuring rose gold numerals and hands. I would say that since I have both of them here, I can show you to good effect that the 495 is warmer, perhaps a little bit less formal in its appearance, perhaps a little bit more vintage inspired directly, whereas the 496 is a little bit more sober, a little bit more austere, a little bit cooler. Consider this one New York and this one Miami. That's the difference in the sensibility of the watches. Functionally, there is no difference, and in terms of telling time, there is absolutely no difficulty distinguishing any of the indications of this dial at a glance. At 6 o'clock, you have the dog fang style power reserve, charting the 10 days of reserve de marche within this watch. Excellent if you own a collection. If you are that paneristi with a huge collection and you wear one watch every week or so, rest assured, this one, which is both automatic winding and blessed with 3 mainspring barrels, will not run down, so you won't have to correct the date or the 2 independent time zones in between wearings. Now, you'll see the dial features an extraordinary combination of applied numerals and a sandwich stencil. Most Panerai watches feature one or the other, or a printed dial. Here you have the stencil in black featuring the circular indices and the Arabic numerals placed atop a solid loomed disc. That's the sandwich construction. And then you have the applied white gold numerals throughout. Quite beautiful, the combination of the two, rare and special. Now, the Calibre 2003 inside was part of the first generation of Panerai in-house movements from the mid-2000s. Automatic winding with both the 10-day power reserve and the second time zone. I believe these movements to have been tremendously over-engineered. Panerai wanted to join the ranks of manufacturers by making a statement, not just building their own movements, but building spectacular ones. This one certainly delivers. Let me show you what I mean when I talk about over-engineering. Watch the seconds hand. Now, normal hacking seconds would result in the seconds hand simply stopping when I pull the crown to extremity. Here, it both stops and zero resets, the better to set the watch precisely to the second and the minute against a reference time. Now, it is a GMT and a smart one inasmuch as you can move the local hour hand over the reference hand and clean up the dial when you don't need a second time zone. Otherwise, you can quickly jump as you transit time zones. Note, I'm not affecting the amplitude of the balance or stopping the timing of the watch in this time zone mode, and you'll note the local hour hand will drive the date forward or backwards as you're in transit. There's an AM/PM arrow index that's coaxial with the seconds hand at 9 o'clock to give you the distinction between day and night in your remote reference time zone. Now, turning the watch over, you can see the in-house Calibre 2003 and it's 25 joules on the caseback. Note the dual-anchored balance bridge with a free-sprung balance. Those two features Rolex style, giving the watch a great deal of robustness in the face of shock and vibration-induced timing deviation. You also note ceramic bearings, unlubricated, high efficiency at center. Of course, the bridges covering 3 mainspring barrels for the spectacular 10 days of power reserve, and the screw-down crown and the screwed-in caseback, endowing the watch with 50 meters of water resistance, which is sufficient for surface swimming and activity, but not high-impact aquatic sports or diving. This is a timepiece that's charismatic in its cool, collected New York fashion. If the 495 is Miami, the 496 you see here is definitely New York. But regardless of where you are, this is an extraordinary timepiece to grace any collection, full of Panerai or others. See it and fall in love with it on our website.